Welcome back. I'm MTG Joe, and today we're going to be playing some Lumbering Battlement, Jeskai, combo, grind, whatever you want to call it. I cracked 4 Lumbering Battlements, and I want to have some fun with it. So this card here, it's a 5 mana 4/5 with Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, exile any number of other creatures, non-token creatures you control until it leaves the battlefield, and then it gets +2/2 for each creature exiled. So what are we trying to do with this deck? Well, we're looking for a lot of different creatures that have relevant enter the battlefield abilities that we can hide under the battlement, make it really big just as an attacker, but when it dies, we get them back. Now, there's also a way that you can basically get a loop going where they just cycle through battlements, and you can infinitely do damage, infinite clue tokens, infinite life, and infinite card draw. So it's kind of a fun deck. It's a little janky as a combo, but I'll walk you through some of the cards and just explain how the loop goes. So Opt is really just in here as a card draw, just to smooth out our draws. Some of the deck is a little clunky if you don't get it going. So this was just a concession from some early games where I felt like we were running out of card draw, but we'll try this out. Thud. So Thud is a 1 mana spell that has an additional cost of sacrificing a creature. What happens is when you sacrifice it, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So if we exile a few creatures under battlement, it gets to say 10, 12, 14 power. You can sack it to deal direct damage and get all the creatures underneath it back into play. So Wall of Lost Thoughts, it's an early defender that can keep our life total high. It's a 0/4. And when it enters the battlefield, target player puts the top 4 cards of their library in the graveyard. Once we get the loop going and we can keep flickering this in and out, we can mill our opponent out. Viashino Pyromancer serves the same function but deals damage to the opponent. Wily Goblin's here to help us ramp. When it enters the battlefield, we get a treasure token. The treasure tokens are relevant with Karn. We can build up a good amount of treasure tokens and then just beat down with Karn Structs if need be. Justiciar's Blinky effect. Magic's always got some fun words to pronounce. So exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under your owner's control. It gains first strike to end the turn. So basically we can use this to recycle our enter the battlefield effects, whether it be a creature specific or just to reset lumbering battlements. Inspiring Cleric, same idea as the Pyromancer and the Wall of Lost Thoughts, just gaining us life instead. Aviation Pioneer, just trying this one out. It basically leads behind a colorless Thopter, so we can make infinite Thopters. Mirror Image, basically you'll enter as a copy of any other creature, and then I'll explain in a sec, this is part of the infinite loop. Sailor of Means, when it enters the battlefield, just create another token. That's a treasure, just again helping us ramp, help powering out Karnstruck. Chainwhirler is a way to deal infinite damage and to wipe the opponent's board. Deputy of Detention is a way to exile some of your opponent's creatures, and also part of the infinite loop. Skyscanner is a way to draw infinite amount of cards, or just keep getting the card draw going. The deck runs out of steam a little bit, so you're playing a multi-card combo deck, which on its own the cards aren't too powerful, but when they're played together. So this just helps us smooth out the draws, and in this color pattern, this was the best enter the battlefield effect to draw a card. And then trying out 2 Dovins. We have a lot of cheap creatures, so we can try to get to its ultimate a little bit faster, and at the worst case, just creates and gains us some more life with the -1. So then we have Karn, card draw, and then as well as getting some constructs if we need it. So how do the loop works? So with Battlement, you can exile a Mirror Image or a Deputy of Detention, and then one of your infinite spells. So you can cast the second Battlement, exiling the first Battlement. All the other creatures will come out, so you get all the enter the battlefield effects. Then if you have Mirror Image or Deputy of Detention under the stack of the first Battlement, it'll exile the second Battlement, revealing the first Battlement, and then you just keep going through that loop. So I'll try to get it on stream to demonstrate, but basically battlements are exiling each other and then allowing the creatures to keep entering the battlefield. The mana base, it's a little bit pricey, it's a lot of duels. It's more red focused because we're playing triple red, double red. Really just a splash for a couple white cards. You can play with Guild Gates. It's going to be a little bit slower, but we'll give it a shot. So as we get started, if you haven't done so already, if you're looking to support the channel for free, if you click the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner, costs you nothing, and with me trying to build out the channel, it goes a long way to helping things out. So I greatly appreciate it if you could. So we'll get started now. This hand... it's okay. We'll try it out. You do get some really weird opening hands with this deck. At the very least, if we're against something like aggressive, we don't want more lands. So this might be some sort of budget merfolk or something like that. Yeah. So here we're just going to copy the Viashino. I am tempted next turn to just make a copy to Thud, the Mistbinder, just to slow it down. You usually want to kill the Lords against Merfolk, it gives them the best value. Oh, we got Battlement. So here, let's opt first. Don't want the land. So here, we'll just have the center tapped. I think we just take the beats for now. Next turn we can wall, hopefully get another creature, and then battlement over on top of them. Kumena is good for them, it'll allow them to draw some cards. And Jade Bear, so they can start putting tokens on everything. We'll see if they attack this turn or opt to just put the tokens on everything. So being stuck on blue mana hurts a bit. So if we exile, that's 8 power, that's 12. So if we draw land, we can probably win next turn. We're going to block there, that's 6, 10, 13. It's 18, 19. Okay. So we're at 1 life. We need a land that doesn't shock us to win. Perfect. So let's see how this goes. So oh no, it doesn't target the non-token. So we could do 10 damage to our opponent and then 12. So we're 1 short actually. Ah, that's unfortunate. Why won't it let us target our opponent? Oh. Target our opponent. Sacrifice Bombardment. So the reason we couldn't have it enter at the same time is because they all see each other at the same time, so the copy, the mirror image, would have to copy something that's already in play. Think regardless we're dead. We got 4 blockers, they have 5 attackers. Let's just make sure they attack like that. Oh, just make it unblockable. Yeah. They had a few ways to win. We almost got him there, actually, out of nowhere. This is an awesome reward. You do very little and then get 750 gold, almost a pack. Okay, so this version's feeling a lot better than even the one I was playing off stream a little, just trying to fine-tune a list. There are other variations of this, probably going to try out. There's someone posted on the Reddit like a pod version with Vanifar that you kind of just pick out your combo pieces. There's a Mardu variation that I know Jeff Hooglin and a couple others have played. Probably a Bant version as well, just using like Knight of Autumn, Deputy of Detention, Trustani, just to like, that one's more value I think than combo. Don't have blue mana. Probably, I think we keep. We got 2 turns. We can just keep blinking Pyromancer if need be to block and then blink it. Let me know in the chat if you've been playing any variation. This feels like a fun kind of janky build around me card. And as you saw in that first game, we pretty much almost stole it out of nowhere. Opponent is roping. See if they do anything. After this game, I might go back and just switch one island for another either Hallowed Fountain or Glacial Fortress, just to get another source in. That's not what we wanted. If this is mono red, having these big bodies out would be useful. They shock in response. Okay, so this is a Phoenix build. Not where we want to be right now. Probably a mulligan on our part. Okay, Hallowed Fountain here. Not the best, but lets us play 2 spells. Against Phoenix, we probably don't want to be playing too much. This looks like the mono red like Memekin deck where you're just playing like a lot of cheap cantrips. Try to get back Phoenix. They shock us, get the Phoenix. Yeah, they pretty much got us on this one. Battlement doesn't do enough. They got a shock that does 4 damage anyways, plus a Phoenix. So struggled a little bit online on that one. Probably not a keep we want. Probably do like okay against mono red. Like we have a lot of big bodies to block up the ground. We'll try this out. These are good. Almost on Chainwhirler, especially against mono white. Yeah. Chainwhirler. Just get to turn 3, no pumps, and then we're good. Okay, so this looks like mono white lifelink. Not bad. If they want to offer the trade, I'll... do we even trade? Nah. We'll play the Chainwhirler out this turn. Kills the flyer. It's a bad attack if they do. Next turn we could just play the land and the Skyscanners to try to get ahead on cards. Here actually. They'll probably give us the land here, which is fine. So next turn we'll Lumbering Battlement on these. So we're just going to block the one that gets mentored. It's fine if they want to waste a turn attacking the Karn. And indestructible. Okay. So maybe attacking there wasn't the correct play. Want to get a little bit more value for the bombardment. Our life total is still pretty high. They'll mentor here. No blocks. Well, that's not good. Alright, well, we lost this one. We effectively have the loop in hand because we can just start playing bombardments to exile bombardments. But they got 7 power in the sky, so we'll concede that one. Bit of a blowout. Should have just let Karn die. So here, we could turn 4, start getting some battlement loops. Anything we draw before then's a bonus. Opponent gives us a hello. Maybe Merfolk. Yeah. So here we'll just have the other line come into play tapped. Let's probably go Sailor of Means next turn. Gives us a blocker. Okay, so they're playing more of the tap down as opposed to the swarm version. So here, probably just play out the Skyscanner. Play out the wall here, and then that gives us a pretty big Lumbering Battlement. Some pretty sweet cards we got. Getting rid of the Silver Gills are good. Just allows them to kind of chain multiple draws together. Need to be wary. It's good that they're getting these out of the way now. No blocks. So here. Okay, so if we get them all exiled, we have one blocker, we block here, they do 7 to us. Whereas we go the other way, we can play a Karn. Make a 2-2, trade with one of them. Perhaps makes them question their attacks. Might have to go with a little bit more. We're playing a lot more aggro. So might need to find another way. Maybe a couple more Wall of Thoughts or Sailor Means just to bridge us. Okay, so they attack with everything. Here we take 5. So what we'll do is we'll mirror image the Sailor Means. That'll make a token. Then we can cast Dovin. Down ticket for a token, gain a life. And then just try to go from here. This holds them back from attacking. Cool. So they'll give us the land. So let's opt first. Wily Goblin's pretty much free here, so we'll keep it. So the reason being, we cast Wily Goblin, makes a token. Okay, so for blockers left, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll keep back the Wily Goblin. So if we exile 1, 2, 3, 4, then we have enough blockers back. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then no attacks here. So here we'll just plus Dovin. See what we get off Karn. I would take a Deputy of Detention, please. Okay, so they give us the Bombardment. We'll just... Actually... Let's just attack with the Bombardment here, see what they want to do. It's a free attack. So we'll exile the Bombardment. And then we'll have this come in as a copy of Bombardment. Okay, so we got the combo going. And then we'll exile, exile. Yeah, opponent sees the loop, and we got him. So survive at 3 life, and then go from there. Pretty sweet. We'll take it for one more. But basically what we were going to do there was keep targeting copies of the Lumbering Bombardment, exiling the previous Bombardment, and then milling them out. We were also going to draw, we could have drawn our entire deck, but they were milling 4 to us drawing 1, so we would have been able to get them to 0 cards and then stop the chain. Not a great hand, not a bad hand. We'll try it out. So this is likely some sort of Drake's deck. Skyscanner next turn. So Dovin's a better play there, but we don't know if they're on control just yet. And this seems less intimidating. So here we'll just play out another Skyscanner. Okay, so likely more of a control build. We'll play out the steam vents here. We'll have triple red now if we draw a Chainwhirler. Yeah. So here, let's Wall of Lost Thoughts. See what they have. See as well if they want to counter this. Opponent's probably really confused as to what we're on. Okay, so it could be a more control version of Drake's. So I'm going to attack first, and then we're... It is counterintuitive for us to play out Dovin like this, but I feel like they're holding up a counter spell. Okay. So we'll sneak in Dovin now. Kind of backwards to what we wanted to do, but we'll just make a token here. So, like Niv Mizzet with this hand. Yeah, we're not beating Niv with this hand. So we can't play Portal because they just get to shoot whatever we do. We'll play out a Karn. See what we draw. Just try to get some tokens there. We're not going to do... Yeah, I don't think we could win this one. Not with this hand that we have out. Everything that we have is non-token. So we can't even get a big bombardment out. We'll run it back for one more. Alrighty, what do we got? Yeah, we'll try this out. Card draw, can't complain. Spell on 2, spell on 3. So we'll just Steam Vents. A lot of merfolk today. Alright, so opponent's going Dork Root, attacks us for 2. Chainwhirler will be nice against this hand. Ah, that was great. Getting this out of the way. That's fine. We'll block. So we can actually Chainwhirler here and then mirror image the Chainwhirler to catch whatever creatures they come down with. So we're actually in a pretty good spot. So they're going to tap down probably the Chainwhirler here. Just block like this. So just copy the Chainwhirler, kill that, have the center tap. Next turn, hopefully we draw a land. We can Skyscanner, hold up Portal to blink again. Would have liked to have that available that we could have. Oh, okay. So here we'll just draw a card. Pass turn. So we'll see how. Can't do much there. We gotta get this off the table to really be able to abuse these. Sure. So opponent will attack. So what we'll do is we'll blink. It'll deal 1 damage. And then the first strike damage will kill the Kumena. Sweet. Deputy, please. Get rid of that. And opponent concedes. So you can see the enter the battlefield value we gain off this. Overall, not too. I was pretty impressed with the deck. Obviously, some fine tuning. You saw the games where it won, it was quite impressive, and the games where we just fell behind, it wasn't doing that well. But we can definitely keep trying this out. We'll play a couple different variations. I really like Lumbering Bombardment, so we'll try to find the best color scheme to play it out. So if you haven't done so already, like I mentioned at the beginning, if you could subscribe, costs you nothing, and it'd be greatly appreciated to help me continue to build the channel. And drop a comment if you want to see any other decks. Thanks for watching, and have a great one.